Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Man at YouTube with another model video. Today with high recommendation from the Volks hobby shop in Akihabara and a few people online. I'm looking at the K airbrush ready acrylic metallic 61 shine chrome, and as per the display by professional modelers, you've got this fantastic vibrant shade. When I purchased this paint in Japan, it also accompanied with a small piece of paper, both in English and Japanese, describing its use. There was a number of metallics, but required a base of the same type in acrylic black to apply first as both a primer and an undercoat. This is polyurethane based. Behaves a lot like the third generation of acrylics I've been hearing a lot from Ammo and other manufacturers. I'm going to get through the uses of it. Starting off, polyurethanes and airbrushing needs to be a bit careful, especially if you do multimedia airbrushing, lacquers, enamels, acrylics, alcohol, all that sort of thing. The trace amount of any residual paint or thinner left in your airbrush, even trapped for days to weeks, will react to the polyurethane and turn instantly into a thicker consistency, a lot like jelly or rubber, and will be impossible to pass through the nozzle. I did a quick flush with brake fluid by removing the needle and letting it run through, and overflowing it with water and flushing it out, jet bubble, all that sort of thing. Straight off the bat, we'll be testing it on multiple spoons with 3 different shades of glossy colour. The white is just bare plastic, as well as some claws for the Harrow Pla Zaccarello. I started off by shaking the bottle quite thoroughly to mix the pigment and applying it straight into the previously mentioned cleaned airbrush, and applied very light dust coats initially on the surface, recommended at a low PSI between 11 and 15. It needs to be specified and mentioned immediately that this is a pre-thinned paint, specially formulated and applied straight into the airbrush. No thinning, no extra chemicals, no water added, as it will affect the luster, the metallizer, and how it sits on the surface. It is quite specialized. Once applied, the initial coat looked very patchy. It started to bead a bit on the bare plastic, kind of sat flat on the other 2 colours, and it rapidly dried almost to the touch within 5 minutes. This is the drying, not so much the curing. An untouched test bit did damage under my finger. After 24 hours, it does have a fair amount of durability to it. The paint that was sitting on the spoon had a lot of luster, a very deep shine to it, and was quite exciting. Applied 3 coats to each spoon and the Zaccarello claw. You'll notice as soon as it applies on wet, you'll see the actual pigment move around on the surface, and it's going to look a bit rough. It will settle and fine out and disperse self-level within a few minutes. And coming back to it an hour or 2, you'll get that really bright mirror reflective shine. So it's tempting to put more and more paint and overflood, and you can overflood it and it will drip. Just put the right amount on and walk away. Realistically, this is super easy to use if you're not looking at the paint while it is drying. With the sample spoons on the bottom panel, left being gloss black, middle grey, right white, after the 3rd coat, the intensity from the undercoat did not matter that much, but more so the surface preparation. Each of it had a beautiful chrome intensity to it, but the far right, no undercoat, no paint, just polished plastic, had the sharpest reflection, and the light source did not have any blur whatsoever. The other 2 sitting on a painted polished surface is quite an acceptable finish as well. You would be able to apply this straight to a bare plastic if you allow the maximum amounts of time to dry and harden before handling. This is not touching it for a couple of days. I would still recommend putting a layer of paint, gloss black, obviously as a base coat for extra grip and prime, especially if you're masking or doing other things. A top clear coat may frost or disturb the finish. I would not apply any sort of clear unless it's a polyurethane metallizer clear. It's all about surface preparation to get this finish. It is straight out of the pot, 3 coats, dry, looks fantastic. But if your surface finish is rubbish, be it seam lines, nub marks, imperfections, whatnot, you're not going to have an ideal surface. Spoons are already pre-smooth and food safe, which is ideal for testing, but it will not give you a realistic result for a scale model finish. Where the Zaccarello claw came in, I applied it with gloss black paint and then buffed it with polishing pads all the way to 2000 grit to 10,000 grit, to the reason why it's got that same luster. Pre-work is 100% required, and if you're willing to follow those polishing steps, which there are numerous videos on this channel about that, you're going to get this very vibrant, very beautiful chrome finish in a safe acrylic setting. All in all, definitely recommend this product. It was absolutely excellent to use. I'm quite curious to see if the other manufacturers of polyurethane and acrylics actually stands up to this. They all have a high price point, mostly due to the pigments and material being utilized. And definitely have a look and exploration of this product. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. We'll catch you guys next time. Stay tuned.